Live from Vancouver, Canada, it's theCUBE. Covering OpenStack Summit North America 2018. Brought to you by Red Hat, the OpenStack Foundation, and its ecosystem partners.
Welcome to SiliconANGLE Media's coverage of OpenStack Summit 2018. This is theCUBE. We're on day 2 of 3 days of live coverage. I'm Stu Miniman here with my co-host, John Troyer. Beautiful city here in Vancouver. There's been a bunch of parties last night, community things going on, and to help us kind of set the stage for day 2, happy to welcome back to the program Lisa Marie Namphy, who's an OpenStack Ambassador and also now a developer advocate with Portworx. Lisa, great to see you.
Thanks for having me back. Always fun to be here. All
right, so you're wearing a new logo since the last time we talked. Why don't you bring us up to speed on some of the many hats you're wearing these days?
Yeah, I joined the team at Portworx a few months back. Super exciting, cloud native storage. If you want to run stateful applications like databases in containers, that's where Portworx comes in. So it's a great space, as you know, and as you know, I've been in the cloud native space for a long time, and so I'm very happy to join the team at Portworx.
Yeah, I love, there's the open dev stuff going on here at the show. There was a keynote this morning. Heard Boris did a nice job with this. We'll actually have him on theCUBE tomorrow to talk some more about this, but you're at that nice intersection of how do developers fit into this? Containers has been a hot discussion here for a few years. That whole cloud native term that you brought up, what does that mean to the OpenStack community? Maybe give us your level set as to what you see happening here in the OpenStack and beyond.
Yes, well, as you mentioned, I'm still an OpenStack Ambassador for North America, and have been for a long time. So I have seen this change coming and this progression. Super exciting at this conference, how they've embraced those technologies that have been part of the story, but they've really embraced in a very a serious way, as you saw from the keynotes yesterday. All of the other technologies, like the work being done around containers, like Edge, IoT, all of these wonderful stories that are getting showcased at this conference, and customers and partners and communities coming together and working together. I think that's the most exciting part.
Well, Lisa, you run the meetup formerly known as the Bay Area OpenStack meetup, which just changed its name. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, we just thought, I was looking at our schedule, and over the last few years, I think I've run 18 meetups on Kubernetes and Docker and Mesos, and I just felt like, networking and storage and all of the stuff we showcased, IoT, we didn't feel like the name was really reflective of the content that we were delivering, and cloud native and open infrastructure is more of a broad term, and that's the content that we've been delivering, and that's what the community has been wanting to talk about and wanting to come together over. So I changed the name, and
And you guys have been having great success, right? It's one of the biggest, or the biggest meetup in this space.
It is, yeah. It's the world's largest OpenStack user group. We have over 6,000 members, and what I
people show up every month,
do,
right?
yeah.
I get the meetings,
and I sent a nice note to everybody. I didn't want anyone to panic, and I was like, we still love OpenStack. And remember, OpenStack was the foundation of this. It was the first OpenStack meetup, but OpenStack is at the core of all of this technology. So it's built on OpenStack, OpenStack's inside, and so it's just open infrastructure is a better, more encompassing title.
No, I think that's great. We actually, in some of the interviews we did yesterday, we had a cloud provider from Australia. And you go look around their website, it's not like they're saying, hey, OpenStack all over the place. It's their infrastructure as a service for government, and when you dig down underneath, what do you know, there's OpenStack there. Talk to a number of software companies that when you dig into their IP, it's like, oh, okay, we're using one of these projects from OpenStack. So the premise I had a few years ago is, we know open source is a bunch of tools out there, and it's not necessarily just like Linux permeated throughout the data center. OpenStack has that opportunity to be that next generation of helping us to build everything from infrastructure as a service to all of these software products that are inside.
Absolutely, and we saw during all those keynotes yesterday, all the different projects, and when they did show what was being shown as a demo, all these projects coming together, maybe even only 2 of them said an OpenStack project. It's all of these communities coming together, working together, and it's changed because everything's been focusing around business problems, and this is, I think, the biggest shift at this show. These user communities not being so focused on the project that they're working on, but really focusing on use cases and trying to solve business problems. And I haven't said this to Lauren and Jonathan, but I feel like when they pulled the design summit out, I think that went a long way to taking away the project focus, because when you had the design summit and everybody went off into their room to talk about Cinder or Nova or whatever it was, argue about the next release. That has all been removed and that's happening elsewhere, and it really let the community kind of come together and work together and bring all the technologies together.
What do you, speaking of the conference in general, what's the vibe here I mean, obviously we're in a beautiful place, everyone's really kind of stunned by the mountains everywhere, not the first time OpenStack Summit's been here in Vancouver, but what's the vibe, what's the feeling?
It's so great to be back in Vancouver. Congratulations on the trained whale that you've got to be freeze-framed behind us. Vancouver, I mean, yay Canada, everyone has been so nice, so wonderful, it's so beautiful. We're all extremely happy to be back here. I think the summit's been going great, I mean, hey, there's non-dairy options at the coffee stations. I love that too. They've thought of everything. The marketplace was booming last night. We had a little ambassador stand where people could come up and do a meet and greet, and I was like pinned there. There were so many people coming by for the whole hour. The energy has been wonderful, and everybody feels involved. This is a very communal feeling to this summit.
Great, so tell us about Portworx. Give us the update there, how that fits into what's happening at the show. You've been lots of shows lately, got more coming up in the next month.
Absolutely, I mean, it's, people just think, okay, if it's OpenStack Summit, is it really going to be relevant? I have so many customers here. It's been fantastic, to catch up with people. And Portworx it's a startup out of the Silicon Valley, based in Los Altos. And we have, we're almost 100 customers now, and live in production, running Kubernetes in production. And the problem with, when you wanted to run those stateful applications, people think of containers as stateless traditionally, particularly Kubernetes, but what are you going to do with the data, right? The database is still super important, so whether it's Postgres or MySQL or Kafka or Cassandra, those stateful applications are really important, and that's the problem that Portworx solves. It's a cloud-native storage company, but it's really beyond that. Things that you would expect from traditional, VM, high availability, things like that. We can solve those problems if you want to run Postgres in a container. And we worked really closely with Mesos, they resell us, with the Kubernetes team, with Docker. We'll be at DockerCon together next week. And so we're actually doing the next meetup in the San Francisco Bay Area. First one, we're going to bring all the user groups together. We're doing it in conjunction with our friends from CodeFresh, who run the production-ready containers, used to be Container 101 meetup. So we're getting together with them and with our cloud-native open infra user group. And so we're going to do a meetup on June 6th at the Portworx office. I hope you guys come.
Great. So, you said there was a lot of, so going back to the conference, business users, folks who actually need to get stuff done. Anything you're looking at in the conference in terms of the news? The Queen release is out, but so in terms of the technologies you're hearing talked about, Buzz, the vGPU stuff, or I don't know what all different, I know there's a lot of some other storage news coming out this week, but anything that you guys are hearing is in the air?
I mean, around kind of, again, the adjacent technologies, Kata containers, big focus here, and I hope that they're going to be a big focus. I hope I can finally run the first ever Kata containers meetup. We're going to have them do a hands-on lab at our OpenStack birthday party event on the 8th. I put that in quotes because it's like a half-day hands-on labs trainings. It's, the 10th, July 10th. We want to focus on Kata containers. We want to focus on some of the new technology, Akraino. You heard them mention it yesterday. That's coming out, Edge, so Edge technology is huge. Beth was on stage again, right, talking about what they're doing. OpenDev as a subtract of this conference, or however they say that, is super exciting. I think Boris was on stage this morning. Marantis is a sponsor of that, and I think the open dev community is really, it's bringing, it's bringing the kind of the developers and the technology back into the fold, and having this kind of, unconference or subconference going on as a track, which is fantastic. I'm speaking tomorrow in the container track, container infrastructure track, so super excited that that's also a track. So that's what I've loved about this conference, about how they're really focusing on these kind of new and up and coming areas that are super hot.
All right, well, Lisa Marie Namphy, really appreciate you helping us kick off day 2 coverage. So much, these blendings of these communities, helping the users put together the overall solution to get done what they need to get done.
Yeah, bravo, OpenStack Foundation, they've done a fantastic job. I think the energy at the summit has been fantastic.
All right, well, we've got a full lineup today. We've got practitioners, we've got the ecosystem, and for John Troyer, I'm Stu Miniman. Thanks for watching theCUBE.